What's going on, guys? Today we're going to give you the best possible controller and graphics settings in Call of Duty Vanguard. So be sure to like, subscribe, and turn those post notifications on so you guys don't miss out on any of our tip videos, gameplay videos, best class setups, best loadouts for Warzone, when the new map launches. All that will be on this channel. So be sure to like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. And let's get into today's video. First up, for graphics settings. If you guys play on a single PC setup and you're streaming, I recommend full screen borderless. But if you want the best FPS possible, use full screen. I play on 1920 by 1080. I play on a 1080p monitor, 240 hertz. I do have a 4K monitor, but it's only 144 hertz. And obviously, if I play on 4K, I'm going to lose out on a little FPS. I want the best FPS possible. But if you want the best looking game possible, play on 1440p, play on 144 hertz or 240 hertz, whatever you have. Make sure VSync is off. This will cap FPS to your monitor's refresh rate. Yes, your game will run more smoothly, but you'll be capped on your FPS. Frame rate, I do run custom, but I run at 260, so it's above my 240 hertz. And then the menu, I have 60 and 30, so my GPU gets a rest when I'm on the menus screen. Make sure your display adapter is set to your graphics card. It should be all ready, but just make sure it is. And on-demand texture streaming, make sure this is off. If you guys have this setting on console, make sure it's off. I don't know if you guys do, but if you guys do, make sure it is off. This has been causing a lot of packet loss and packet burst. So if this is off, it should help out with that. There's still going to be packet burst. I still deal with it. It's the game. It's not your system. It's pretty much the game. They need to update it. All right, switching over to the quality tab. We are on custom. We run everything low for the most part. The game still looks good. There's a specific setting in this game that makes your game look a little bit better, especially on PC. So we'll go into that when we get down to it. And this is why we run all low, pretty much. Everything's low. You can pause the video, copy these settings if you want. Cache, sun shadows, and spot shadows. Make sure these are on. This actually helps FPS. Don't know why. Just know it does. Ambient occlusion's off. Screen space is off. DLSS is off. And here's the setting. Fidelity CAS. Make sure this is on. Go to show more. And actually put this up to 1.0. And it's going to make your game sharper and just look better. Trust. Anti-aliasing, I would recommend SMAA, but it always goes back to Filmic SMAA for me. I don't know if it's because I use one of these settings, but it always goes back to Filmic. But if you can get to stick on this one, go ahead and choose that. We'll apply those settings. FOV, I recommend at least 100. Some pro players run on like 95, but most of them I noticed run like 195. So that range is pretty good if you're looking to be competitive. Now, if you just want the same as Warzone, that way when Warzone launches, you're like, oh, I'm not going to really play Vanguard no more besides to level up weapons. I want to stay in the same FOV, so I'm used to it when I switch back to Warzone. Use the same FOV that you use on Warzone. Does not matter. Personally, I go back from 105 to 120. I feel like my movement's cracked out when I'm on 120. I feel like my slide canceling is not as good on a lower FOV. I don't know why. If you guys can answer that in the comments, I appreciate it. Maybe there's something I need to do, or the timing's a little bit different. NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, I recommend having this on or on plus boost. Test it out, see which one works better. As far as latency, you'll probably get better, less latency on plus boost, but you might get better FPS if you have it on off. So keep that in mind. Audio. I have my master volume at 80. This is like personal preference. Sound effects is 100. Just depends on what headset you use, how loud it is in your ear, because this game is really loud, so that's why I turn it down a little bit. And that's just the gist of audio. Interface, same thing. There's nothing crazy important in this. I do show my FPS and stuff like that. Is there something important on this? Minimap shape, make sure it's on square, because if it's not on square, as you can see, you're not going to see as much as the minimap. Square's the way they go and the wave. Minimap rotation, I have that on. That's really personal preference, whatever you're used to, really. Controller settings, I play on a 6.6 sensitivity. A lot of pros play on a 5.5, 6.6, or 7.7. So if you're looking to be the most accurate person, the most competitive person out there, I recommend either from a 5 to a 7, but not to go higher. I do play on tactical flipped. If you want to know how you play on tactical flip, you press button layout preset, show more. It'll say flip L1 with L2, and that's how you do it there. What's another important one on here? Controller vibration I have off. You can have this on, but honestly, I think it hurts your aim, so I always have it off. I've had it off for a while. ADS sensitivity transition time, instant. That way there's not a delay when you ADS. Left trigger input, dead zone, I recommend 0. You should not have a trigger in your dead zone, because that way if you press it down, it's going to take longer for it to react. I have digital triggers, so it honestly doesn't matter, but I still do it just for the sake of the setting. Left stick minimum input, you can actually put this as 0, because this is like your movement, and it's not going to really affect it if it's a little bit, if there's some stick drift on your movement. Your right stick minimum input, set this to wherever it is the lowest setting without your character aiming by itself. So normally you want to start at 1 and then test it out, start at 2, test it out until it stops moving on its own. Left stick max input dead zone, I'm actually going to change this right now to like 90. I want to test this out. So that means I don't have to go all the way over with my left stick or my right stick before it actually starts to move and stuff like that. So it's gonna make it to where it reacts a lot faster when I'm moving my left stick, so I can barely move it and it's gonna react versus having to move it a little bit more. That's all that's gonna do. Gameplay settings, aim assist on, ADS aim assist on. Big setting, automatic airborne mantle. If you want the best slide canceling that you can have in Call of Duty Vanguard, similar to Warzone, make sure this is on partial. Make sure grounded mantle is off and automatic ground mantle is off. And then the slide cancel is going to seem more like Warzone, but you can't just slide cancel, slide cancel, slide cancel. You have to slide cancel twice, and then you get your tactical sprint back. So you don't always have your tactical sprint. It's still going to have a delay with that. So if you slide cancel twice, you get your tactical sprint back. Slide cancel twice, you get your tactical sprint back, and so forth. But it is going to run a lot better than the other two. However, mantling is going to be a little jagged, so you'll have to get used to that. You'll have to basically press the mantle button twice to mantle stuff. Automatic sprint, make sure this is on automatic tactical sprint. It's going to make it easier to tactical sprint. Sprints cancel reload, I do have that on. That way I can just sprint to cancel a reload and finish off a guy if I see him in the last minute. Sprinting door bash, that way I can sprint through doors and break windows and stuff like that with all the destructible environment. Slide behavior, make sure this is on tap. Once again, this helps with your movement, helps with your slide canceling. Interact reload behavior. If you're just playing multiplayer, you can put this on tap to reload. But like I say, I don't want to change anything from Warzone, so I have this on tap to interact, so I can just swap back right to Warzone and be ready to go without changing anything. And that's pretty much. Where's my 80? Oh, dynamic, huh? That's what we're missing. Where's that? Set aim assist. Aim response curve type, make sure this is set to dynamic. And also over on your graphics and gameplay, make sure your field of view, your ADS field of view is set to affected, mainly for sub players. If you're playing ARs, you can actually run this on independent, and it's pretty good. So if there are any competitive players out there, ARs, independent, subs, up close gunfights, if you're more of a rusher, effect is the way to go. Camera movement, make sure this is on least. Forgot to cover that. It's going to have less movement. Trust me, just do it. You will not regret it. And those are our settings in Call of Duty Vanguard. So like I said, if you guys enjoyed these settings, if you guys want more tips and tricks, best class setups, gameplays for both Vanguard and Warzone, especially when the new map comes out. Right now, we're just leveling up weapons, doing camo challenges, trying to get diamond, trying to get that atomic camo. Be sure to like, follow, share this video. Like, subscribe, share this video, turn those notifications on so you guys know when the next video is live, and follow me over on twitch.tv/AmericanBlood. And until next time, peace.